You're listening to the Airline Pilot Guy Show.
The view from our side of the cockpit door.
WAPG, it's the Airline Pilot Guy.
Airline Pilot Guy, episode 720.
Yeah, he's up in the sky. It's the Airline Pilot Guy.
Hello, you're listening to the Airline Pilot Guy Show, the view from our side, the cockpit door, with your host, Captain Jeff, broadcasting live from APG headquarters in Roswell, Georgia. Today's show is recorded the week of August 17, 2026.
Yeah, he's up in the sky. It's the Airline Pilot Guy. Picture light and he's flying by with the Airline Pilot Guy.
In today's episode, a fatal collision between a small plane and a police helicopter in Pennsylvania. And a controller avoids danger when handling two planes sharing the same identifier.
I've been working air traffic for 25 years. I've never seen the two aircraft pretty much merge with the same call sign. That's pretty incredible.
Also ahead, more news and your feedback. So get all settled in. Tray tables and seat backs in the upright and locked positions. Electronic devices powered on. I'm Radio Roger, and Flight 720 is ready for pushback.
Thank you, Radio Roger. He's an award-winning TV and radio reporter, currently at the number one all-news station in the nation, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM in
New York City!
Welcome to the Airline Pilot Guy Show, an aviation podcast covering the latest in aviation news and answering your great feedback. I'm Captain Jeff, a former U.S. Air Force pilot and retired Delta Airlines captain. And joining me from his Garden View studio
in Hartford, Hereford, and Hampshire.
He's a retired professional dog photographer, former RAF, RAAF fighter pilot, retired Airbus A330, A340 captain for Virgin Atlantic Airways. It's Captain Nick.
Hello there, it's Jeff. Looking forward to another great show. Now, 720, our show number, that's a pretty easy one, really, isn't it? Because the 720 was a dinky version of the Boeing 707. Able to work from shorter runways and serve shorter routes. It started with United initially in 1960, and it was missing just over 8 feet of its fuselage. I don't know if they ever found it, but there you go. Which limited its passenger load to 170. One of its claims to fame was to be the subject of the controlled impact demonstration when the FAA and NASA crashed a remotely controlled 720 into the desert near Edwards Air Force Base to test the aircraft's survivability. The 720 was effectively superseded. It was quite a successful airplane. A lot of airlines used it. But it was effectively superseded by Captain Jeff and his beloved 727 Trijet.
Yeah, love that. Love that 727 for sure. Beloved by me and many others. Thank you very much, Captain Nick. All right, and also joining us from his home studio in Hamburg. He's a retired Lufthansa, Boeing 737, Airbus A300, A340, A380 captain, founder and host of the German aviation podcast Come Fly with the U.S., Captain Steffen.
Oh, that's a new way to pronounce it. I like it. I think I will keep it that way.
Is that right? Come Fly with the United States? What am I getting wrong?
Yeah, something like that. So, thank you for letting me in the show. We had some difficulties getting me in. I guess it was you, wasn't it? That I had difficulties to join you. And I'm sorry that my view is different now. My camera, I had to use a different camera now if my perspective is different. But coming back to Nick and the 720, the airplane, and there's a story that the company, where your first picture of the 720 you showed with the Lufthansa logo in it, in the 70s they tried to make a roll with that airplane as well. They tried to do the Tex Johnson with that, and they crashed, apparently.
Oh, no.
I have to look that up. It's an old story about that.
Really? Oh, they tried to do the barrel roll thing with it?
Yeah, they tried to do the barrel. Didn't work.
Oh, my. I didn't hear about that. Okay, we'll have to look that up.
Yeah, I guess. it's 50% chance. Okay, you always do that, no? Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
like everything in life, 50%.
okay.
Yeah, there's the APG 50% guarantee being displayed in our video.
Yeah.
Thank you, Liz. All right. Great to see you, Captain Steffen, and we look forward to interacting with you on our show today. And also, last but not least, from her studio, we missed you, Liz. Last week you weren't here with us. She's here with us from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, retired financier and aviation enthusiast, spreadsheet master, and our producer. It's Liz Piper.
She's back.
Yay! That deserves some noisemaker activity.
Sorry, you guys. I'm so sorry I had to bail on you last week, but it wasn't going to happen. But anyway, here I am, ready to go, try and wrestle these guys into some kind of semblance of order.
Yeah.
I'll do my best. Steffi's given me strict instructions here.
Oh, has she? Okay.
All right, let's do some.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I guess so.
Yeah.
There she was.
You need to finish your sentence before you push that button, Liz. Okay. Here we go. Let's do some news.
Stand by for news.
All right. We're going to start off with this first item in our news segment. I need to scroll to the top. Here we go. This is from the Aviation Herald and some other sources as well. You may have heard about this. It happened relatively recently, August 15th to be exact, in Munich, Germany. Vietnam B787-9, registration Victor November Alpha 867, performing flight 34 from Munich to Hanoi, Vietnam, was departing Munich's runway 26 left when huge clouds of dust and dirt rose when the aircraft rotated very late and became airborne. The tail struck the ground. The aircraft climbed to flight level 100, 10,000 feet approximately. The crew reported that they had a tire pressure indication and would need to dump fuel. About 90 minutes after departure, the aircraft performed a low approach to runway 26 right, followed by another low approach to runway 26 right. The aircraft subsequently landed on runway 26 right. The left main gear trailing smoke and became disabled on the runway. Runway 26 right was closed. It says it's currently closed. Of course, this was a while ago when Simon was writing this, so I'm sure it's open by now. According to preliminary information, the aircraft overran the end of the runway and damaged runway lights. Okay, according to photographic evidence available to the Aviation Herald, but not permitted to be released to the public, the aircraft became airborne about 120 meters or 400 feet past the runway end, already in the grass and about the first row of approach lights. Okay, so I'm sure many of you have already seen some of these, watched some of these videos, but we're going to go ahead and watch some of them ourselves. This first one is a passenger view from the right-hand side of the aircraft at the window and looking at the right wing as they are in their takeoff roll. So let's see what happens when I push this button right here. And they're rolling down the runway. They're still rolling down the runway.
More rolling.
Still rolling down the runway. Now, you know, it's heavy. They're going to Hanoi. It's a long flight. It's a long runway, like 13,000 something feet.
4,000 meters, I think.
Okay, and they're still rolling down the runway. Seems like they're getting faster. Can't really tell. Still running down the runway. People in the cabin are going, are we still supposed to be on the runway?
Are we driving to Hanoi?
Yeah, are we driving to Hanoi? Okay, they're still on the runway. I would think that pretty soon we're going to be running out of said runway. Yeah, I'm seeing those tire marks on the runway, which means they're getting close to the end. Oh. Oh, yep. They definitely got to the end of the runway. No, now they're flying. They're in the air. Okay, there we go with that one. And if you'll leave that in view, Liz, I will see if we can find another one to watch. Okay, this one is from the other side of the aircraft, looking aft toward the left wing, and they're forward of the left wing and forward of the left engine. Okay, here we go. Rolling. This is about, I think, 45, 50 seconds into this takeoff roll at this point when I started the video. I believe there was a note about that. And, yeah, we're still on the runway. Still on the runway. Still on the runway. Looks like a nice day in Munich. Slats are in the extended position, which is the appropriate place for them to be for a takeoff. They're still on the runway, by the way. And... oh.
Oop,
yeah.
That's not good.
That noise is not good. That means they were hitting things on the runway and hitting things on the overrun. Okay. How about another one?
Another video.
Look, another video here. This is
the wide shot.
A wide shot, sort of, but it's in a portrait view, and so it doesn't really look wide. But here we go. It's from a distance, from a plane spotter, I think, video taping. There we go. So 787-9 takeoff runway overrun. And still rolling down that runway.
Yep, still rolling.
Still rolling down that runway.
We're going to see the dust.
Yes, we are. We're going to see some dust and debris and dirt and stuff here very shortly as it gets at the very, 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 very end of the runway and rotates.
And beyond.
And they're starting the rotation, and...
there we go.
Yep, there's all the dirt, debris.
That's not a good thing to
dust.
see.
No, that's not. I mean, it kind of looks cool, but you don't want to do that for every takeoff. Yeah. Okay. That's another airplane, by the way, that we're...
yeah.
Okay. That was, yeah, as I said, a different airplane in the audio from that particular video clip. And just wanted to show you this from a website called Aviation Jeddah. Shows I don't think this is an actual photograph of the Vietnam, because what we saw in the first video and the passenger videos is them on the departure end of the runway, not the approach end, and hitting, having a tailstrike, right? This is showing
as if it's landing.
Yeah, like it's landing, which you have to actually take off first and then you land. So
yeah. Plus it was a sunny day, so like it looks stormy there.
That's true. That it was a sunny day, Liz, and that looks a little cloudy. So I think that
not a fake picture at all then.
No, so well, somebody was saying saying maybe, or postulating that maybe the problem was that the 787 was taking off backwards, and this is an actual.
But wouldn't it be slanted up the other way? Like
yeah.
They're going to go into the ground there if they're taking off that.
I just have to say, good job, aviation journalists. Wow,
yes,
really nice. Yeah,
we'll take that out because we can't stand that.
Yeah, okay, but just one more thing, Liz, if you don't mind. If I want to show the aftermath here. Yeah. They were doing some investigation, and there's video of showing some tire marks, some tire skid marks on the runway. And here we go. We're rolling down the end of the runway, the departure end of the runway, And then you see some individual darker marks extending further beyond. And this is, I believe, from the left main gear. Truck assembly, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, one of them is a little bit darker than the other, and then you can see where it starts hitting the uneven overrun surface. And
so does that tell you that they were applying brakes with that?
Well,
does that tell you anything?
Liz, I don't know if that means that they were applying brakes or the brakes were being applied accidentally or by the system that was an error or what. So we're going to discuss that right now, I think. But I think I'm going to, I've pretty much laid out the situation, this incident, and going to have my fellow co-hosts kind of chime in and tell us what they think may have happened.
Well, I'll just go in there first because I think Steffen's got a much clearer idea of what happened. But anyway, the most common error that leads to an overrun or a very long takeoff is usually your performance figures. So the crew do their calculations depending on the weather of the day and the runway they're going to get airborne for, their weight, all those factors go in. And they come out with a reduced thrust takeoff setting for the engines, usually, unless they're very heavy, in which case, and it's quite a short runway, in which case they might be getting at full power, but normally you reduce thrust even a little bit. And the speeds at which the events are going to occur, your V1, which is your decision speed, V rotate, and V2, which is your one engine out safety speed. So if you enter incorrect information into your laptops or whatever system they're using to get these calculations, you end up with garbage coming back out at you. You enter the wrong figures into the aircraft. Depending on the cleverness of the aircraft, it'll either accept that or it might go, this seems an unusual situation. Perhaps you should really look at your figures again. But whatever happened, this crew might well have managed to get those perhaps incorrect figures into its performance data box. And then because you've put the wrong figures in, during the takeoff, you've set too low a power and you are going to go too far down the runway before you reach flying speed. So that is the most common. It is much less common to have people drag on the brakes. So it has happened. If you've got an inexperienced pilot, even one that's not flying the aircraft. So it could be the first officer who is got his feet in an inappropriate position on the rudder pedals, and he's allowing his feet just to gently press the brakes without realizing he's doing it. That has happened in the past. And with that little bit of brake pressure, of course, it retards the aircraft's acceleration, slower acceleration, don't reach flying speed in time. Or it could be that there was a failure on the brakes. It's quite possible for there to be a dragging brake on your aircraft. I personally used to regularly check the brake temperatures, and even though my Airbus is quite old now compared with the modern ones, if one of our brakes got over 300 degrees centigrade, it used to go, you're not allowed to take off now. And it was quite possible to reach that temperature, particularly if you had a dragging brake that was causing a lot of friction and building up temperature inside the bogie. And you would be warned of that, and you physically, would go, oh, right, we can't take off. We've got to find out what the cause is, perhaps deactivate that brake with the engineers and then try again later. So there's all those various things could have happened. But the Dreamliner is quite a modern airplane. And I would expect, I know a little bit about Airbus, but I don't know what protections the 787 has to prevent those scenarios. But apparently not many, because this crew managed to make some mistakes possibly, or they had some brake issues that nearly ruined their entire day.
Yeah, absolutely. Could have been a lot worse, for sure.
Yeah.
So, we watched these videos and we talked about the fact, or I was making some commentary about the length of the runway, quite long, right, Captain Steffen? This is like 4,000 meters or over 13,000 feet. And, you're going to use a considerable amount of runway for that kind of length of flight, for sure. But I'm wondering at what point the pilots are starting to think, we should be airborne by now. Like just that doesn't look or feel right to me kind of thing kicking in. And Captain Nick, you made a great point. There should be some kind of systems kind of helping out here with like your brake system is malfunctioning or it's applying brakes or some kind of a warning or whatever. What was I was trying to think of I know what I was thinking.
Rick?
So our good friend and one of our co-hosts, he hasn't been with us for some time, but he's still an official co-host for the Airline Pilot Guy show, Miami Rick. His thing is, one of his things that he really emphasizes is this takeoff speed check that he performs every time he performs a takeoff. And he on X, he's very prevalent on X, formerly known as Twitter. He posted time your takeoffs in all caps. So he's yelling, he's shouting, time your takeoffs. Start your timer at the same time you select Toga or takeoff go around to gauge proper acceleration. From the moment that Toga is selected to the moment you get to 80 knots, no more than 20 seconds should elapse when the field is balanced. If you don't get there at 20 seconds, something's wrong. You're still slow enough to reject should you need to or rectify the situation. Runway and stop margin permitting. Takeoffs are rarely under balanced field numbers, so you'll almost always get to 80 knots before 20 seconds. Now, of course, your mileage may vary, the type of airplane you're flying and everything else. But anyway, that's something that was kind of going off in my brain when I was watching that long takeoff roll. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Captain Steffen maybe has something to say.
I think Captain Steffen should say something. Yes.
Okay, that's what I him for. No? But Captain Jeff already, Nick already said basically the whole thing, what everybody was thinking at the first time, that wrong speeds or wrong temperature assumes was entered in the system, also flex temperatures, whatever you call that with Airbus, so that thrust was too little or the speeds was wrong set, so they took much longer and rotated then at the end much later. I don't know at which point they initially thought they when I was right, that was the first thought I had, and then I got the point. Well, at one point they must have noticed that. So I hope the whole time that at some point at the middle of the runway they pushed the throttle lever forward to get more thrust out of it. That's what I hope. I hope so. And I'm not sure about those 20 seconds. I don't know what you said. Your mileage may vary, and especially if a very long runway, and 4Ks is a very long runway, that you perhaps, the weight was much to takeoff weight, that you still could use a lot of reduced thrust on that long runway. And so it takes a bit longer for you. I was talking with a colleague, and he said he was taking off at a 4 kilometers runway, and they basically used almost 3,300 meters to finally getting airborne. It was, of course, way beyond the decision takeoff reject speed, but they were using a lot of runway to get a lot of reduced thrust to finally get airborne. So it's not so uncommon that you're getting close to the end of the runway. That my first thought was that they used the wrong performance numbers.
Yeah, that's, I think, all of our initial feeling right away was, this certainly does look like one of those instances where the wrong data was used or input or both. Yeah.
So, and then, I don't know if you already discussed the skid marks beyond the runway.
No. No, carry on.
Well, then this last video with the skid marks beyond the runway came up, and then the second thought come up. Oh, maybe someone was stepping on the brakes during the takeoff. No, so he didn't put the feet down, and he was using a little bit brakes. So that's why the takeoff was slow. Or then the combination popped in my mind. Oh, they had some issues, crew resource issues management in the cockpit during the takeoff run. Maybe that they punched in the wrong numbers. They had a very slow acceleration. And then someone said, we need to reject, and try to reject. And the other one said, no, we need to go.
Oh, yeah.
And he pushed it forward. And so we had a little braking and taking off at the same time. So that was my third guess I had. I hope
that never happens, Captain Steffen. It's never happened, right, Captain?
Well, yeah, we know of some instances where the captain and the first officer have fought on the flight deck whilst one attempts to go around and the other one attempts to stay on the runway. And every time one of them opened the throttles to go around, the other one would close them and come on the brakes. And eventually they ran off the runway. These instances do occur when you get a complete breakdown of cooperation between the two pilots.
Chuck in our live audience says the skid marks on the bottom of the plane weren't the only skid marks during the takeoff. Oh yeah, that's true. I'm sure. UH Blackhawk in our live audience says apparently 787 brakes are electric versus hydraulic. And now I don't know if that is something that could be a factor as well. I've never flown in a jet that has electric brake, but I think a lot of the Airbuses do, right? Have electric brakes and not hydraulic. No? Oh, okay. Never mind.
All hydraulic, to my knowledge.
Okay. I don't know why I thought that. Sorry. Yeah.
But then the issue, then there was a tweet. I think you have it also in the show notes from some part about the high brake temperatures coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So that's confirmed that something more with the brakes maybe is the issue during the takeoff. Yeah. Or not?
Yeah. All of these things I could be the possibility of what occurred here, or a combination of them, I guess. The point I was going to to emphasize the point that you made, Captain Steffen, is we would certainly hope that, and hopefully they'll have the data to determine whether or not this actually occurred. When you get to the point where you're thinking, that the end of the runway is really getting close, we're coming up on it, and we should probably be airborne by now. It should be your natural reaction to just jam those thrust levers to what position would that be for? For the 787, I would imagine it would be like more of a standard kind of traditional thing where you just jam them into the firewall and hope that the engines give you as much thrust as possible at that point. I would note that, and maybe it's just, I don't know, the technology or whatever, but those two recordings that we heard, and even the third video that we watched from afar, you could hear the engine sound. I never at any of those or on any of those videos, listening to the audio, heard the engine spool up any. And maybe there's a limitation to the video recordings or something, but you would have heard, it seems to me that you would have heard like the engine spooling up a little bit toward the end of that takeoff roll where the pilots go, oh yeah, we need to add power. I don't know.
UH Blackhawk has another comment there.
Blackhawk says, BFU says the airplane decelerated twice. Second after.
I think that was a comment from the crew saying that after V1 they noticed deceleration, and then they went full power.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
But I've done that on a takeoff. My very first takeoff out of Cape Town. So I was pretty new captain and new destination, so I was doing the flying. And I didn't realize that Cape Town's quite an undulating runway. So we did everything normal. This was in the days of paper performance figures. So we got all the figures out of a big book and wrote them on a piece of paper and stuck them down in front of us. We still entered them into the aircraft electronics, but no, they were there and done manually without using a computer. Anyway, we set off down the runway, and I was looking at what I thought was the end of the runway. I was going, that doesn't look, that does not look right.
What's going on?
So I just went Toga, and I, told the crew I'm going Toga. And then, of course, we went over this slight hump, and the rest of this enormous runway revealed itself to me. And I went, well, I might as well leave it there now. Too late now. I'm not going to try and pull it back again. That would be silly. So we did a Toga takeoff. But,
Captain Steffen, pronounce this for us, please.
Oh, Bundesstelle für Flugfalluntersuchung, BFU. Very easy.
Yes. Or I like to just say BFU. It's just a little bit
You just like to say FU.
Yeah, well, that's true. I'm just desperately looking for a sound effect. We're talking about Toga, and I just can't find it. Dang it. Oh, well.
Add it in post.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Here we go.
Toga! 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 Toga!
Do you think that maybe if we hear the cockpit voice recorder, this is what we'd hear?
I think so.
With a little Vietnamese accent.
This would be all the first-class passengers shouting at them.
Yeah, they're all Toga! Toga!
The flight attendants.
Oh, dear.
Oh, my gosh.
Anyway, I'm glad they got away with it. I'm glad no one was injured. That's all good. But it could be a sad end to these pilots' careers.
Okay. Then there came the tweet with the brake temperatures, and then the first leaks coming. I don't know where those first reports from the pilots came, that where the crew was making their takeoff beyond 90 knots, and they noticed some or maybe deceleration, or maybe not for 2 seconds, the aircraft didn't accelerate. And then it accelerated again normally, and then it slowed down, or it had some deceleration, and then they pushed the thrust lever full forward. I mean, that's just rumors. And then they barely made it then airborne again at the end of the runway and took off. That's what rumors were saying. And apparently also some kind of digital data readout from the German accident reporting station. So maybe there's something more in it, the whole thing.
Yes, AL in our live audience says the EDR shows 2 deceleration. So that seems to me to point to like an issue with the brakes, right? Like because the engine thrust wasn't being adjusted at that point when they got the 2 like pauses in acceleration or deceleration. Yeah, interesting.
You guys are amusing UH Blackhawk here.
Oh, UH Blackhawk in our live audience says, I guess he's listening to us recording live while he's at the gym or on a Stairmaster somewhere. He just fell off the Stairmaster laughing. Hope he's okay.
Yeah. We like to amuse, but not injure.
So, I mean, I'm asking you two guys, when you were doing a takeoff, and did you notice sometimes that the airspeed didn't build up very fast, or that the airspeed slowed down in acceleration and then it went up again normally? It could happen to every takeoff. I mean, sometimes even on a sunny day, there's a rise or pocket of air going up, and you have some little gusts, whatever. The airspeed can fluctuate. So my first view would be then on the ground speed if this is accelerating normally. So it's not something what I was getting too much concerned if it's just for 2 seconds or something.
Right.
Or what about you?
No, I agree. And what's more, some of the features of our engines when we were flying with the Trents, the Trents would sometimes adjust their power, or they would reach full power, but it would take them some time to get there. And this was kind of an anti-stall feature. And if you had a bit of a crosswind, and the engines might be sensing that they needed a little more time to reach full power, that might occur. But I'd never had that occur. Once you got up to sort of 90 or 100 knots, it was always pretty solid at the power. We got the power, we called it stabilized, and we checked it, and we were happy usually to go. I'd never had the engine thrust reduce ever at that point. But we did have cases of incorrect foot positions on the rudders. That had happened, and people, without even realizing, were resting their feet on the rudders and accidentally applying brakes. Because, instructors, they don't often look down at their students' feet because there's a big center console.
Yeah, it's hard to see.
And they're stuck under the instrument panel. So it's very hard to see. So, bad habits can be carried actually onto the aircraft for a long time. And people have a habit of putting their feet in different groups. I remember the story of one captain who failed his line check because he had the habit of taking his feet completely off the rudder pedals and putting them flat in the floor because he was very worried about the possibility of touching the brakes during the takeoff run, and he was failed. And they said, "Well, you can't do that, mate.
The higher
have
speeds
your
on the takeoff roll, that's what you're supposed to use."
Yeah, but I mean,
down.
this was when he was pilot, not flying. But of course, our company, if you reject the takeoff, the captain immediately takes control. But so when you can't do that, you can't not have your feet on the rudder pedals in case you have to take control during a rejection.
You should. I'm sure that you're taught the same, and I'm sure it's the same in the Airbus world as it is in all the airplanes that I flew. That you keep your heels on the floor, right? And so you don't have a tendency to actually hit the toe brakes on the rudder pedals. Wow.
Exactly. Chuck has a comment here.
Regarding the UHB falling off the Stairmaster. Chuck says evidently he experienced a sudden deceleration also. Yes, he did.
He did.
And felt some G-forces. 1G, I think. Okay. Well, I'm hoping that we'll get some preliminary data, a preliminary report officially
May I say something?
soon. Yeah, sure.
If that is really true, if their brakes were malfunctioning during the takeoff roll, and they put some, by the way, I looked up the Airbus faults, what would happen with an Airbus if you're getting the situation that one brake is braking during the takeoff roll. If you get a warning like this, or not a warning, a situation like that, I think kudos to the crew. If the brakes were accidentally applying, if there was a malfunction in the brake, I mean, they did everything okay. They did a good job. They rotated at the end. They did, of course, a tail strike, but they get it off. I'm not sure if they retracted the gear or did they left it down.
I don't know.
I would hope they left it down.
Yeah, I hope so too.
But
I don't know. I didn't see any picture.
Sometimes it's just an instinctive thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is. They did climb to about 10,000 feet, or flight level 100. But
on the other hand, if they think there was a performance issue with the aircraft, maybe then they said, "What the hell, up with the gear to get better climbing out." So that could be both. So, but if that was wrong, I think kudos. It was good. Good, they did a good job, and also at the landing and the 2 overflights and everything. I hope that would be. It's not good for Boeing again if there was something wrong with the brakes, but good for the crew. I think.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
Next Munich item.
Well, very good. Our producer in the background is telling us, well, it's not the only thing that happened at Munich Airport in recent
they had a beer fest as well. Oktoberfest, did they?
Oktoberfest. It's a little
not
early.
Not quite. Next month, I think, right? September, I think.
Oh, you can start early. There's no penalty for starting Oktoberfest early.
Okay. Well, I don't know what all the rules are, but, okay. But good thing we have a German here that can tell us all the rules regarding Oktoberfest.
But I'm not a Bavarian. I'm from the north.
You got to be a Bavarian.
No, you got to be Bavarian.
You don't have lederhosen?
No.
Oh, you don't? Oh, dear.
Moving along.
All right. Well, here
Bavarian. Yep.
We're going to move on to this next one, also from the aviationherald.com. A Lufthansa Airbus A380-800 registration Delta Alpha India Mike Lima performing flight 459 from San Francisco, California, to Munich, Germany, landed on Munich's runway 26 left, but touched down short of the runway threshold. The aircraft rolled out without further incident and taxied to the apron. The airline reported the aircraft contacted at least one of the runway threshold lights, causing damage to the treads of a number of tires, because that airplane has a number of tires for sure. The occurrence is being investigated by the, what was that again, Steffen?
Bundesunfalluntersuchungsstelle für Fluguntersuchung. I made it now wrong. I'm sorry.
It just
Cut that
rolls
out.
off
Okay.
his tongue. doesn't
It does. I mean, thank you again for
Mellifluous.
that.
It's
Yeah,
mellifluous.
he is
BN.
mellifluous. Yeah. We have a little bit of video from the inside in the cabin, where you at the very point where they touch down, and it's kind of a noise that is a little different than you normally hear. And here we go. If we're ready, coming in, they're about to touch down. They touched down. That's a 380, just a reminder. You don't normally hear noises like that, do you, in a 380?
Oh, if only we knew a 380 captain.
They're
We
always
do.
doing smooth landing, like butter.
Like butter. I mean, but that thing is so huge. Yeah, like it would take something so...
Yeah, that's if you land on the runway, of course.
That must have been heartbreaking for Steffen to listen to, I think.
Yeah,
really.
it was. Yeah, it was.
Uh-huh. What do you think?
What do you think? Well, it was on the same runway. It was 3 days late, 3 or 2 days later than 3 days later, and then the Vietnam Airways incident. It was the same.
Blame Boeing then. It's their fault.
Oh, because they screwed up the runway a few days before.
They messed the runway up.
Distraction.
It's the same landing direction, though. So apparently the ILS isn't working on that runway anymore because the 787 took some parts of the localizer system off and during the long rollout. So it has no ILS working right now. And so the crew, apparently, I'm just guessing, I really don't know, was doing some kind of GPS approach, or how do you call that, SLS approach or FLS approach at the airport, at Munich, and so not 2D, maybe GPS 3D approach. However, and there was some weather issue. If you go to Aviation Herald, you see that was vicinity showers, vicinity thunderstorms, some rain. You could also see it at the window. So maybe they were having really a good glide slope indication because there was, as I said, a non-position approach. And, well, they got a gust or whatever, and they touched down short and took off some runway lights, or one runway lights. Not a good thing. I like the comment in Aviation Herald that someone said somewhere down the Rhine, I think we should remeasure the runway. Apparently, it's too short on both ends. Some kind of.
Very good.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's good. Yeah.
I like Tanya's comment.
Our Tanya in our live audience touched in quotes. Touched down. So, do they have? I don't have the airport diagram available to me anymore. Well, I guess I could have looked it up online. Do they have any kind of visual approach slope guidance, like PAPIs or okay?
Yeah. They have everything there. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Mistakes happen.
I put up this small picture about the visual geometry. It's an old one. It's not. It might be wrong. Maybe it's not true anymore. Some old documentation. But as you can see, if you have an ILS and you, without any flare or whatever, you just paint down the 3D glide slope and you be perfectly on the glide slope, your body gear will only have 23 feet left of space left when you're going over the runway. So it's not very fast. So if you're having some kind of non-precision approach and there's a thunderstorm in the area, or the QNH doesn't get adjusted very much, and you're just off by one QNH, and you follow those augmented glide slopes down, you can end up a little bit lower than you anticipated. I mean, you shouldn't be there. You still have a visual glide slope. You should see outside the runway, but could be a contributing factor. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, again, this is the runway that's like 4,000 meters, right? Thinking like, why are you trying to put it down on brick one, as we like to say? You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
Good question.
Psychology plays. Did I told you that I one time did an overweight landing because I had to divert to Reykjavik, and we were approaching Reykjavik. We had overweight, and the whole time there are two thoughts going up in your mind. Is first, the runway is not too long. I'm too heavy, so I should not making flare too long. Don't waste too much runway because you're much heavier, and the runway is not very long or whatever. At the end, you also think, don't touch too hard because otherwise you get problems with the high sink rate and you cannot get out of there because there has to be an inspection. At the end, I landed totally different than I wanted to. I landed a little bit harder and the runway was way enough. I shouldn't worry about the runway length. So maybe if someone is approaching here, even though the runway is long, but it's wet, it's stormy, there's a thunderstorm coming, let's go down, we are tired, they're coming from San Francisco. There's so many factors. I know it's a lot of excuses, but it's not always, you're not a machine, you're human.
Yeah, we're human. That's for sure. Okay.
All right.
Well.
Bad things happen in threes. Let's hope not.
Yeah. Here's a situation that happened. If you guys are ready to move on to the next news item, happened. Let's see, where was this? A flight, an American Airlines Boeing 737-800, performing flight 2482 from Phoenix to Chicago O'Hare, was climbing out of Phoenix's runway 7 left, cleared to climb at 9,000 feet. Another Boeing 737-800, American colors, was performing a flight from Chicago O'Hare to Phoenix.
Same number.
Same flight number. We have some video that I'd like to play, if you're ready.
American 2482, if you're up, radar contact, maintain 9,000.
That's how we checked in, but yeah, maintain 9,000, American 2482.
Roger that. Welcome aboard. I'm showing you at a 5,800. Is that correct?
I think someone just took that for us, but American 2482, we are 6,000, climbing 9,000.
All right. American 2482 on the arrival. If you're on the arrival on Eagle, you know what? Somebody else has your American 2482 on the arrival. I need you to maintain 10,000.
10,000 for American 2482 on the arrival.
And there's an American 2482 on a 0730 code. Is that correct on the departure?
Affirmative, climbing 9,000.
Roger. On the departure, I need you to maintain 9,000. Traffic 1 o'clock and 10 miles. Is your company same call sign out of 1,800 descending to 10,000?
Wow.
Incredible. We're looking. Thank you. Inside, actually, American 2482 on the departure.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
American 2482, the departure. Traffic 12 o'clock and 3 miles is your company. 1,000 descending to 10,000. Maintain 9,000 for the departure.
Ford level 9,000 on the departure. Traffic inside American 2482.
American 2482, the arrival at a 1,000. Traffic south of your position, less than a mile, level at 9,000.
Traffic inside American 2482 on the arrival.
Wow,
and
got close there.
American 2482 hit itself.
American 2482 arrival. That traffic's no factor. You could descend via the arrival. Thank you very much.
Descend via the arrival, American 2482 arrival.
American 2482 departure. The departure at 9,000. Climb, maintain flight level 210.
Climbing 210, departure American 2482.
American 2482, the arrival. American 2482 arrival. Descend and maintain 4,000.
So maintain 4,000, American 2482 arrival.
American 2482, the departure, climbing over Mr. Bill. Contact Albuquerque Center on 127.67. Thanks for your help, sir.
Yeah, great job. 2767, take care. 2042 departure.
American 2482, the arrival. We're going to put in the MRI. That's the first time I've been working air traffic for 25 years. I've never seen the two aircraft pretty much merge with the same call sign. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, we were going to say good job. You know, I've been flying a lot less than that. I've never seen that either, so nice work.
Yeah, no problem. That was. I'm glad it all worked out there. It could have been disastrous, but I'm glad it all worked out.
Yeah, same frequency and pointing right at each other. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are the chances of that? They have to be infinitesimal. So, I mean, I think just a brief comment from me, and then I'll let the captains, the other captains, discuss as well. But I think that this showed some great adaptability by the air traffic controller to immediately understand what the situation was and using terminology to clearly define the flight that he is talking to by saying, you know, approach and departure, and then also those pilots in those individual flights also adapting that same nomenclature to, you know, to be sure that we were, you know, receiving the proper information and performing what air traffic control wanted us to perform. But thinking about this situation, how this could possibly happen, many of you are probably thinking, well, isn't there some kind of a way that you avoid having this kind of thing occurring? Usually it's not this flight is scheduled, you know, to go from Phoenix to Chicago O'Hare and then Chicago O'Hare and back to Phoenix. And they're separated by, the scheduled flights anyway, are separated by a significant amount of time. But when one of the flights was delayed quite considerably, that time separation compressed to the point where they were actually operating at the same time. Now, dispatchers for the airline that I flew for, Delta, they would look at a potential situation like that, like let's say there's some kind of a maintenance delay or whatever, or a maintenance issue, and they will issue a separate call sign. So instead of Delta 2482, they would actually use a call sign like 9,000 something, 9485, whatever. They'd change the number completely. So it would be a new numerical number so that you wouldn't ever, when you were making your PAs to the passengers and everything else, it's still American flight or a Delta flight 2482. But when you're talking with air traffic controllers, now you're Delta flight 9453 or whatever number I just made up. The other way that I've heard it done, and I think most airlines do this, and maybe you guys can chime in on this as well, is they'll say, in this case, American 2482 Alpha or America 2482 Bravo, some kind of a letter designation at the end of it to kind of differentiate between the normal just numbers. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I agree, 100%, Jeff. And we would do it regularly. But if there's any chance that you might get an aircraft airborne at the same time as someone with the same call sign, why bother? You can have the same flight number. That's no problem at all with regards ticketing and passengers and flight plans, etc. But the radio call sign needs to be individual. And I'm really upset with American for letting this happen. This could have been absolutely disastrous if the air traffic controller hadn't been on the ball and one of those aircraft had picked up the correct call sign and obeyed an instruction to go to the same altitude that the air traffic controller had just given to the other aircraft with the call sign. They would have been not only at the same piece of sky, they would have been at the same height. And I'm going, this was so avoidable. It's this administrative crap this is, and you can just fix it by going, we're never going to let those call signs mix, radio call signs mix again, so the air traffickers never have this issue. And we would do the same as well as you just mentioned. If we we were asked to report any time that there was a confusion over our call sign and another aircraft's call sign, another airline even, just because the two numbers might be the same or whatever, even though we were obviously a Virgin and they might be a China something. If they said, if you ever have a mistake of call sign, let us know, and we will alter our call signs to make sure that it doesn't happen again. And so we will often have a suffix or a prefix of a letter, as well as the flight number, to make certain that we didn't ever do this, just like your airline. And I don't know, American have some explaining to do when it comes to this and this particular incident.
Yeah, it does seem that the dispatchers or dispatching department at American really dropped the ball on that one. Maine Marin in our live audience says, did ATC hold his breath when they crossed paths? I think he did. I think we were all watching the simulated radar display. We're holding our breaths, like
I
seeing
must
them
admit,
merge.
the last instructions he gave to the aircraft when they were inside a mile, I would not have said those, because he was just reiterating the clearances. And if either of those aircraft had made a mistake at that point, I'm going, oh, did you really need to do that? Just in case one of them makes a mistake.
I agree. Yeah. It was, I'm sure he was thinking, I can't believe this is happening. I mean, not only the same call sign, but on the same frequency, in the same airspace. And not only that, they're actually converging, one descending, one climbing. Like, what are the chances? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
I have a question. You both flew through an airline. How is the flight numbers handled in your, handled in your company? In example, outbound flights from Germany with my company are always even flights. Inbound are always uneven flight numbers. And is there some kind of rule to the flight numbers? For example, North American flights are always with a 400, for example, is the first flight to New York, or 450 was Los Angeles. So you always knew what kind of flight number, what direction goes, if you're talking about long haul. Short haul also, we have some issue, some always same numbers. The first flight from Hamburg to Germany is always flight number 1. It always was, and it always will be. From my hometown, by the way, it's flight number 1. And and then the second one is 3, and the next one is 5. So there's some regularly. And then in the at the end, at the beginning of 2000, when more and more flights were coming, it always got confused with other flight numbers, as Captain Nick was saying. So they had to change the numbers. So sometimes there was the third flight. It was not number 5. It was a number 19, because there was confusion with some other flight numbers. And then finally at the end, they all switched to alphanumeric call signs. So I think 80% of all the European and inner Germany flights for my company, they have alphanumeric call signs, which has nothing to do with the flight number. So why is that still that they're using the flight number as whatever? I don't get it. As Captain Nick was saying, I don't get it. Why they're not using this different system?
Yeah,
I don't know. I think in the long haul,
Acme?
I think that Acme Delta. Now I can say Delta.
Okay.
Because I'm no longer working there. I think that maybe the long haul operation had the numbers had some kind of a sequence like that, where one flight 36 is going that direction and 37 is the opposite direction or whatever. But as far as the domestic operation is concerned, if there is some kind of a system like what you just described, I'm not aware of it. It just
Can I tell you what the Air Canada system is?
What's the Air Canada system, Liz?
Eastbound and southbound flights are even numbers, and westbound and northbound flights are odd numbers. And then they have a group of numbers that are the European flights, and a group of numbers that are transborder flights, and a group of numbers that are South American flights. So they're all numeric. They don't use the alphabet like Steffen said, but you can determine where the flight is coming from or going to, and direction and stuff from the flight number.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I think we did east-west odds and evens, and we didn't have many north-south flights. But
and I can also imagine that American has so many flights, they have to use a number twice during the day. I could imagine that. Otherwise, it won't work out. But still, in the same area, why? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's just because of that one flight being delayed for such a long time that this occurred. But so it was, somebody didn't notice it. Like,
maybe.
that could be a problem.
They were so
but if it relies on someone to remember to change the call sign, that's how this kind of mistake. If you feed in a system that doesn't allow this mistake to happen, the guy doesn't have to remember, and that. But this is just how another Funyun lining up.
Yeah.
So, and we know how easy it is to line those Funyuns up.
Interestingly, you would think that CPDLC, let's see, what is that? Controller Pilot Digital. So what's the LC stand for?
Data communication.
Data link.
Okay, data link communications. Thank you. You would think that this would only be a problem in the ATC voice transmission world, but apparently now with CPDLC, according to UH Blackhawk, they can have issues as well. Airplanes on opposite sides of an ATC zone can get the same message. Yikes. So,
and let's bear in mind also that our transponder codes have for years been capable of being duplicated because there are only a certain number, and there aren't that many number of transponder codes that can be issued at the same time. And even though the transponders are being upgraded to increase the number, there are still regions of the world where you'll be flying around, and the next region along, someone in that region will have the same transponder code as you, which has its own issues.
Yeah, that was actually quite common in my experience flying, where you would be cruising along and they say, Delta 503, change your squawk to blah, blah, blah. And that's what was happening because there was some kind of a conflict within the national airspace system where these two transponder codes were being used simultaneously, and that causes havoc for the automation system. So they just give you a new transponder code. And actually it seemed to be happening more and more often toward the latter part of my career. I guess because of just the increase in flights.
Numbers of aircraft. But they have increased that number, but they have to get everybody to buy new transponders. You know how mean an airline is.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Well, but don't you in the States, I don't know, the aircraft, how was it equipped? In Germany, it's quite often that you just put in transponder code 1000 and the rest goes through the Mode S transponder. They call sign, the ATC call sign.
Oh, okay.
It goes in the FMS you put in whatever Lufthansa 9 Papa 9 or whatever, and it shows up on the ATC display, but you only squawk 1000 very often.
Oh no,
I've never heard of that.
That was never around when I was flying. No.
Interesting. Did something else happen in Munich?
No,
actually.
no.
Oh, okay.
No.
Let's
Malta.
Okay. We're looking at actually item number or alphanumeric 01D Delta. We're going to skip to something that occurred very recently and was a tragedy. It was, let's see, what's the date on it?
I think just this week.
August 19th. So just 2 days ago.
Wednesday, yeah.
Authorities are investigating a crash between a Pennsylvania state police helicopter and a small plane at the Carlisle Airport in Carlisle, PA, Pennsylvania, Wednesday. The pilot of the small airplane was killed, and 2 Pennsylvania state police troopers were injured after the plane collided in midair with a state police helicopter near the Carlisle Airport. Well, it was actually on the airport, like right on the runway or right off the runway in Pennsylvania's Cumberland Valley on Wednesday evening, officials said. The Cessna 150 crashed into the Bell 407 helicopter, which was conducting a training exercise shortly before 7 p.m. Pennsylvania State Police Acting Commissioner Colonel George Bivens told reporters at a press briefing. Let's see, the pilot of the Cessna is identified as Dr. Paul Sokolowski, 57 years old, of Hershey, Pennsylvania. He was the sole occupant of the plane. He was a valued member of our emergency medical team, according to Penn State Health. The pilot was a certified flight instructor. National Transportation Safety Board investigator in charge Aaron McCarter told reporters during a briefing on Thursday. A trooper and a colonel who were inside the helicopter were injured in the crash but are expected to recover. Let's see, it was Corporal Bryce Corman and Trooper Corporal. I thought they said Colonel. CPL is the abbreviation. Okay. Well, it was either a colonel or a corporal. Tonight could have been much worse, according to the governor of the state of Pennsylvania, Shapiro, during a news conference at Penn State Health Milton S. Hershey Medical Center.
I think you only gave the name of one of the troopers, Jeff. I think you.
Oh.
I think
I did?
You stopped when you got to this corporal thing.
Oh, okay. So the two policemen in the helicopter were Corporal Bryce Corman and Trooper Jason Mills. Okay, thank you. Okay.
Video.
So we do have a video of the incident, and if you are sensitive about these things, you might not want to watch it. It's pretty violent. And I just wanted to also mention that, as he usually does, Juan Brown was right on top of this and has already put out a video describing or what we know so far about this accident at this uncontrolled airport in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. But here, let me play. The only reason why I'm saying it is you should check it out. If you don't already subscribe to Blancalerio channel, you should, because he does he does a nice job of this interesting situation. Okay, here we go. You ready for me to hit the button?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. We're going to watch the video. Now, when I first saw this video, guys, I thought this was a intersecting runway or something but when you look at the airport diagram, it's just a single runway. And as I mentioned, uncontrolled field. The helicopter had basically done a straight-in approach coming in from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania,
capital,
and the capital of the state, heading west toward Carlisle, PA. This uncontrolled field. The Cessna 150 instructor had, I guess, had been having some work done, or he had been working on the airplane himself, or something to that effect. The past couple of days, had taken the airplane to the south to do some maneuvering. I don't know if he was doing I don't think he was doing instruction, because he was just, I think he was the sole occupant of the Cessna 150, and he was coming back into the pattern, and he was setting up on a left downwind, turned to left base after the helicopter had already made its approach, and was either hover taxiing right above the runway, about halfway down or a little bit beyond that, either right over the runway or maybe just off to the side of the runway over the grass. But he was very, very in close proximity of the runway when the Cessna 150 came in for landing. And the time of day, I think it was the point at which the Cessna 150 would have been looking directly into the sun, so his visibility may have been obstructed. I don't know. We haven't heard, or I haven't seen anyway yet, any of the audio, if there is any audio, because it would have been a Unicom frequency. And so were the transmissions being made by both the helicopter and the Cessna 150, proper and made to easily identify positions of the airplanes and what their intentions are, et cetera, or what? So I'm hoping we'll find some more, some information regarding that as the investigation continues here. But it does look, if you, I guess I can play that video again, but maybe I can turn off the sound so we don't hear that irritating sound. But let's see here. Okay, so you can see the Cessna 150 coming into view from left to right, and it looks like it makes some kind of an avoidance maneuver. Although I'm looking at this thinking, well, why is it like veering right toward that helicopter?
Ayal has a comment here, Jeff, that you might want to read.
And I was going to say Juan Brown in the Blancalirio channel video said what Eyal is saying in our live audience. The Cessna encountered the helicopter's rotor downwash, causing the right wing to stall. And that's exactly what Juan was saying, that it makes it, anytime a small aircraft gets anywhere near the downwash of a helicopter, it's very, very dangerous. And that appears to be what may have happened here, where the airplane just got caught up in that downwash, and it just stalled and crashed right into that helicopter. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Does it say somewhere how long the landing of the Cessna was after the helicopter? No.
In Juan's video, it does have the ADS-B readouts.
Okay.
Relatively not a lot of distance, not a lot of time. No.
Yeah.
Did you read the email from Sam as well, Jeff?
I did not. I didn't have a chance to look at that.
Okay.
Sorry.
Sam, great friend of the show, he has got a lot of helicopter time, and he flew the military versions of the Bell 407.
Oh, okay.
And he mentions that about rotor vortices. And he said, unlike wingtip vortices, they're created any time a helicopter is generating lift. So even if it's hovering, it's obviously generating lift to hover, it can create a vortice. And those vortices they can flow outwards. And the only safe area is about 3 times the rotor system diameter, and because that's where it starts to fade, but it'll flow outwards for 3 times the diameter. And that guy was not, the diameter of his rotor was not 3 times away from the runway, if you see what I mean. He needed to be a considerable distance further from the runway if he was not going to affect the landing aircraft. And he said you have to think of it as a moving man-generated microburst, because they do create a considerable amount of disturbance and downflow in the air. You have to also bear in mind that helicopters such as Black Hawks and Chinooks, you've got to increase that distance because they're a much heavier aircraft, and the amount of lift they're generating creates a much larger vortice. And he said one thing to perhaps ask if you're trying to land with a helicopter in the vicinity of your runway is to ask him to go, I'm looking for the term he used, flat rotor, I think was the term he used, go flat pitch. So that you effectively have to land. So, and if you go flat pitch, you're turning the rotor blades so they're not generating any lift whatsoever, and the vortice will disappear. But you can see from the video that we've now got on the size and the the power of those vortices. But even if that helicopter wasn't moving forwards, it would still be generating that. So I don't know if it's a hazard that many fixed-wing pilots know about. I doubt it very much. I think helicopter pilots should be aware of the danger they present to fixed-wing aircraft. They're obviously a lot more aware because they're flying in adjacent to other helicopters a lot more than fixed-wing aircraft. So my feeling at the moment is that the helicopters perhaps should not have been practicing their maneuvers so close to the active runway.
Yeah. Again, it'll be interesting to hear what kind of communications were going on, how aware the Cessna pilot was about what the helicopter was doing, where he was, and what they were doing there.
Exactly.
Great feedback from Sam there.
Yeah, great feedback from Sam.
Thanks, Sam.
Thank you, Sam. All right. Well,
Okay, let's
sad.
quickly get to know Captain
All right.
Nick, and then I think he
Let's
needs to head off.
do our Getting to Know Us segment.
Mother Hen is looking after me.
Getting to Know Us, the time of the show where we find out what everybody has been up to between episodes that they are on. And we would like to go with Captain Nick because it's getting kind of late for you, sir, and you're not feeling 100%. So,
No.
yeah.
There are a couple of things. First of all, I'm going to mention is I got some feedback from Dr. Abigail Powell. You remember on the last show, we talked about Abigail and the service she provides as a psychiatrist and therapist, specifically aimed at those of us in the aviation industry. And having pointed her towards the part of our show where we mentioned her, she said what an honor it was to be mentioned on your podcast. I think she underestimates, or perhaps overestimates the importance of our show.
No, she doesn't.
But thank you so much for getting the word out about what I do and aviation mental health. I cannot wait to share what's coming up in the next few months, and when she lets us know, I'll be sure to mention it, as I'm hoping to increase accessibility to mental health support. It's going to be worldwide and provide so much more support for those who may not need to talk to someone every week, but still want to stay sharp. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you need any content. So that's great. Thank you very much indeed for those kind remarks, Abigail. That's brilliant. My own personal health, I waxed lyrical about the boost of movement I was getting from my leg following a steroid injection to my left knee.
You leapt off the table.
Yes, I know. I was full of myself. Well, that didn't last very long. And I thought the injection perhaps had completely failed, but I realized now that what had happened was almost simultaneous, I suspect, to this injection. I don't think there's any linking to it, but I managed to come down with polymyalgic rheumatica, which is much easier to just say PMR, which is an inflammation which affects major joints in the body, and it is normally bilateral. So you get it if you get it in left knee, you'll also get it in the right knees. But I've got it in my knees, my hips, my shoulders, and my neck, and it is a severe form of inflammation that causes great muscle pain when you try and move any of those joints. And to say I've been having a pretty miserable time of it over the last week or so would be an understatement. It's been absolutely awful. I've been nigh on crippled, barely able to move, get out of bed has been hard.
Or sleep.
Sleeping, because of course I keep waking up with these intense pains, and to find that I can't actually generate any movement to turn over or whatever. Anyway, I'm not going to go into it big time, except that I eventually managed to hasten, get an urgent appointment with my doctor. I had a blood test. And the very next day, he called me back in and said, we've found out that you have got a very high reading on the indicators for PMR. So we're going to diagnose you as having that. And they've already put me on a course of steroids, which should reduce the issue. So you can reduce it in a matter of days, but it can take up to 2 years. But we'll have to see. Have to see. Every case is different. Yeah, I know.
Our in-house medical department, Dr. Steph, was optimistic, though.
She was, yes, absolutely. Because Steph, of course, she has an ear on us all to make sure we're all doing all right. And she heard that I was not doing well. And anyway, I've only had one dose of these steroids. This daily thing, and so only today. And I'm coming up to the time of the day when it starts getting really bad. So I will head off shortly. But it's sad to say that despite the fact that my knee has got a good treatment, I think this additional issue it has sort of overshadowed that. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Right. Now, last week we had some very interesting stories, but the funniest by far, apart from long tons, heavy meters, short yards, and light seconds, which I thought was great. I really would have loved to have used that as a show title. We were talking about transporting beluga whales around. And someone came up with a very clever show title of How to Mail a Male Whale. And so what did we do? We made a picture of a pilot with his snorkel. We actually discussed having a pilot with a snorkel. Did the transport pilots, freighter pilots, have to swim around with the whales?
Because we had to be concerned about the water level inside the
exactly, inside the cabin, yeah. And of course, these whales, because they were being posted, they're being mailed, they all got postage stamps on them. Oh. Exactly. So he's there swimming, having his whale moment. And if you notice, it's not hard to see, but on his shoulder.
Like a parrot on a pirate's shoulder.
Exactly. That's just what I thought. We've got our penguin is on the pilot's shoulder, and he's getting suckled a bit, I think, by the one of the belugas, or either he's just going to chew his arm off.
Yeah, suckled is not the right word.
I think you're right. And then, right, let's go for the bits. Oh, can you go back to the previous, please? Sorry.
Sorry.
Now, not only do we have the parrot, we've also got the logo in that picture. Can you see it?
I don't see it.
There we go. You just went over it. In the eye.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Right there.
Oh, the eye of the beluga whale. Looks like an eyelash.
Yeah, I thought it was eyelash, exactly.
Well, there you go.
Funny.
That because it was an easy penguin, a very hard logo.
Very hard.
And the next one was the show number, which you can see tattooed across the forehead of that particular beluga whale. And it's sort of a stencil, 719 in stencils.
What's that on the sleeve?
And it's a German 7. That's a good question.
Okay. You didn't do that on purpose.
That was there to fool you. I thought about removing it, but then I thought somebody's going to think that's a number.
Some sort of embroidery or something.
Oh. Yeah, perhaps it is.
But at least you've got 5 fingers.
I removed one.
Did you?
I was going to say,
yes.
He probably had to fix that.
Amputation.
Yes.
Can you believe that AI still can't get the idea that we have 5 fingers? Most of us,
It's
anyway,
pathetic, isn't it? It's pathetic. And one of those fingers is looking really weird as well. So that was the artwork for last week.
Well, I'll send you some in the morning if you feel up to tackling this week. Possible.
I will certainly tackle it this week. But I'm going to do things in short bursts.
You toddle off to bed now.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Yes, I'm being sent to bed by
I'm under orders from your wife.
She is
you guys have a great...
more of a director than a producer at this moment. She's directing Captain Nick to leave the show.
Exactly.
Yeah, quite right.
Get lost.
All right. Love you all. Have a great show.
Love you.
And see you
Hope you
next
feel
week.
better.
Thanks very much.
Bye.
Cheers.
We salute you, sir.
You do, indeed.
All right. Well, Captain Steffen, it's been a little bit since you have been with us on our show. And why don't you let us know what you have been up to?
Yeah.
It was a long time ago. Was it? Had the honor to be here. That it was half a year ago, or maybe, or 5 months, or something.
No, I don't think it's quite that long.
Yeah, I don't
okay.
think it was. I don't think it's been that long. Yeah.
Anyhow, yeah. In the meantime, in the early summer I was traveling a lot, and even I don't know if he ever mentioned that I visit Captain Nick. Did he mention that?
Yeah,
he did. He
Oh.
did.
Oh, I thought he said
And he
had good
actually enjoyed having you.
So that's good. So now he's gone. I can tell that's he's lying. No,
The reality.
No, he shared some pictures with us as well. Yeah, of your
and
visit.
Julie really enjoyed having you.
Yeah, it was very nice. We had a nice dinner as well. I visited him the Brooklands Museum in London for a day. He was a nice. He brought me there, and he brought me to his home, and then we went to a restaurant around the corner. It was very nice. Very, very. Too bad that he's gone. I want to thank him again. And I did some other travel. I traveled even to the States at the same time where you did the show in Oshkosh. I was for 48 hours. I was in Miami. Yeah, I was very brave to travel as a European now to the States. I did that, and it was quite comfortable. I went in, took me only 50 minutes. Went through immigration. It was very easy, so very good. And I visit old friend of mine who is a Lufthansa mechanic, a Technik, and he's doing there's I don't know how it was with your company in a foreign station that there was also a Delta mechanic station there sometimes. Yes, was it? So he is one who he's working now. Anyhow, he was based in Boston. He was based in London. He was based in Africa and several places. And he's now at the end of his career. And I visited him on the last duty working trip. He was working for Lufthansa for 49 years.
Wow.
Can you imagine it?
That's amazing.
That is amazing.
Yeah, I had to visit him. So even only for 48 hours. And and then I visit also, if you ever be in Frankfurt, Germany, maybe you have a transit or longer transit while you're doing some traveling or whatever, I recommend you to visit the Lufthansa Hangar 1. It's now open for public. I was there. I put in the link in the show notes, and it's a place where they built a hangar, and they put in the old Lufthansa Junkers U-52 you see here in the picture. And in the background, you can see Super Conti Superstar, which Lufthansa intended originally to build up to flying condition and intended to fly around with that airplane, doing some ad hoc charter flights or some sightseeing flights. But then they skipped the problem because the costs went out of control. There's a lot of story about this aircraft. It's beautiful restored. It has lots of sticker. I mean, it was meant to be like the airliner. You could go buy a ticket and fly with that thing. They really wanted to bring it up to the old certificate status. But there are so many things which had to work and had to get fixed with that. At the end, they stopped doing that. But it's a nice hangar. Beautifully restored, quite a mint condition. Sometimes you can go inside. I was there at the early beginning there where it wasn't open for public yet. That maybe also because there were only very little people there, and so you could not go inside yet. Because according to German law, you have to get smoke detectors inside the airplane, which weren't installed yet. Kind of thing.
Safety.
Yeah. Anyhow, and there was also a photo booth. By the way, named with "Come Fly with US."
Yes, they stole your name.
They stole my name, and
you're suing them, I hope.
Yeah, and it was a lot of historical thing. And they have a photo booth there. You can stand in front.
Oh, I thought it was your podcast that they were advertising. Oh,
yeah, but don't mention that, please. Anyhow, and. There's a photo booth. It's a funny thing. You stand in front of the thing. You do. They take a picture of they make a picture of you, and then they transform it to the time where the airplane, this particular aircraft in the backboard was, how do you say,
operational
or got registered or whatever. So I took a picture of me in front of a 707, and they altered me like this.
You look very dignified there.
Yeah, I tried to smile. I would try to smile on these pictures, but they make the smile to a grin. So I had to use
Not
serious.
any grinning.
Yeah.
No.
And if you go to the next one, it's a
Oh.
DC-10. It's more like the 80s, jeans and
very
everything.
serious.
You look
Yeah,
very
and-
buff in this photo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's because of the cargo. Cargos are always
those
big
Yeah,
things,
freight dogs.
uniform.
Freight dogs.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, you got to pick up
They
and
look
move
like
those
primary rig,
boxes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Move those whales.
So anyhow,
Wow.
yeah, I put some stickers. Also, just two pictures here of the stickers. Every sticker, the aircraft was perfect restored. Like it was. You had to put any sticker on, every sticker on. You had to do like you having a real aircraft, not just a museum piece there.
Wow.
Even some grease flying out or during operation, and very interesting. Very, very much details. It was
Cool.
very too bad it never worked out.
Yeah.
Too much money perhaps as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to say, when we were discussing your visit with Captain Nick and Jilly, we were talking about the fact that you are always good to send us pictures of you traveling throughout this beautiful world of ours. And many times you're wearing the cap, the airline pilot guy, fly Acme Airlines cap.
Yeah.
Well, so what happened to it?
I was in Athens in Greek, and it was very windy, and it blew off. I was on top of the hill, one of the hill opposite to the Acropolis, and it just blew off, and it fell
So
down.
some Greek guy's wearing it around.
Yeah, some Greek guy's wearing it.
So
at the Eero shop, he's back there wearing the.
So Jeff, you're going to
Acme
remedy this.
So
situation.
Liz and I had the discussion that we need to mail you a replacement ball cap with the airline pilot guy or Fly Acme logo on it, and I think I only have just a handful of these things left. And unfortunately, the gray color is completely gone, sir. But we do have some royal blue versions of it. So we're going to send one to you. And I'm looking at your website here. Come Fly With Us, by the way, is the actual way you say it. Well, in English anyway. In the imprint page, I have a P.O. box for you. Is that the best place for me to send it?
I give you a different one.
Okay, off air, you'll give me the actual address, and then Liz, please remind me to get that in the mail to Captain Steffen. Okay,
I will carry the logo around the world. Okay.
Yeah, because that's great free advertising for us.
She's our best ambassador.
Yeah, you are our best ambassador for sure.
Great to have you on, Steffen.
Thank you. No, opposite, other way around.
No. It's mutual then.
Yeah. Okay.
Very good.
Okay.
Yeah, they did some flying, some instructing, and the usual thing you do when you're a flight instructor. That's it.
Okay.
Cool.
Very good. You're still enjoying that?
Yeah, very much.
Just don't fly near any helicopters.
Yeah, stay away from those helicopters.
I certainly will.
Yeah. Okay.
Captain Jeff.
Right.
Captain Jeff.
Yeah. So I
You
had
actually did something.
more things. I did more things than I normally do, other than my normal singing at funerals and weddings and masses and all that kind of thing. The very next day, let's say that we recorded, it was like a couple of days after we recorded last week, I ended up going over to a very good friend of mine, friend of the family. His family, our family used to
mentioned him
carpool
on
together.
The show, I think, Jeff.
Oh, did I mention him on the show?
When you ran
last
into
week?
his wife at the grocery
Oh,
store.
yeah, but that was a few episodes back. But so Kevin Doyle, I ran into his wife, Rochelle, several episodes ago, talking about whatever we were talking about.
Reconnecting.
Reconnecting. And so I visited, I also talked about, it was over the 4th of July. We went over there. Shreyas, my new friend, and I went over to their place and we watched fireworks and all that kind of stuff. But he served some of his home-crafted, home-brewed beer when we were over there. And then we started talking about homebrewing because many of you probably already know this, but I was a very active, involved home brewer for avid. That's a better word. Yeah. Avid home brewer for like 15 years. I started in the mid 80s and ended up, in 1999. No, I ended up drunk. Yeah. Well, maybe at times.
I thought you said I remember avid beer drinker, not a brewer.
Yeah. Well, I'm a beer drinker and a brewer. I switched from, at the time the kids were getting older and many more extracurricular activities. We were getting ready to move from our old house to the newer home back in 99, 2000, 2001. And I just boxed everything up and thought, yeah, when we move into the new place, I'll start brewing beer again. Well, I never did.
Happened.
Never happened because but I still did the drinking part, just not the brewing part.
Okay.
Anyway, so Kevin and I had this discussion about the fact that he is brewing beer now. I don't know how many years he's been doing it, but I said, well, he said, if you'd like, next time I brew a batch, I'll invite you over and you can, monitor, watch, maybe help, with the brewing process. So he did that. And so on Saturday last week, went over to his place, and that's his lower deck area, the back of his house.
And that's the same house you knew him in previously.
Yep, that's the same house that that they have been living in for many, many years. And so that's part of the brewing process. He was posing. I said, you need to pose for a picture for me. So and that's the big 15-gallon stainless pot that he does the boil.
What's in there? Hops? Is that in hops in that thing hanging?
Oh, in the bag in the background. So he's doing kind of a all grain immersion kind of method for doing the mash. So that inside that bag, that was inside of the stainless steel pot, and and the cracked grain was inside it, and it was it was doing its thing, converting the malt into maltose and all the enzymes doing their thing and whatever. And then so he drew that thing out of the big pot and drained it and squeezed as much of the must. What Captain Jeff meant to say was wort, not must. Wort is that wonderful juice that comes from the mash in brewing beer, and must is that wonderful juice from freshly squeezed grapes used in winemaking. Out of that as he could, and left it in the big stainless steel thing, and then at this point he is initiating the boil.
The ladder.
Yeah. So
how long after he does this is it drinkable? Like how?
It depends on the style of beer. If you're talking about ales, not too long. It usually takes anywhere from a couple of days to maybe a week or so for depending on the style and the original gravity of the beer, and the yeast you're using and all that kind of stuff, and the temperature at which you're fermenting. But it's pretty quick for an ale. For the other side of the diagram, lager style beer. Lager means to store, I think, right? We have a German here that I think lager is a German word, I think.
Lager, yeah.
Lager. It means to store, doesn't it?
I'm sorry, say again? I don't.
Doesn't mean to. I had learned, or maybe I'm wrong, but that word means to store, to
put away.
Okay.
Yeah. Lager is the storage. It means storage. Yeah.
Okay. So lager beers ferment at much lower temperatures, and so just science. It takes much longer for the fermentation process when you're fermenting at lower temperatures, and so that's why that strain or that. Trying to think of the right word, like a family diagram, like a. No. Like if you had a picture, like a corporate diagram of different, like the CEO and then the directors, and then like an organizational chart. But the organizational chart of beer or whatever you want to call it, like you have one side or the ale side of the family, and lager is the other side of the family. Anyway, so it takes quite a bit longer to ferment a lager style beer. That was a much longer answer than I probably needed to.
Sorry, I shouldn't have taken you on that.
You have to start brewing again.
Yeah, well, Maybe. I don't know. It just depends. Maybe if I end up in a permanent place for any period of time, I might start doing it. But it's much better just to go over to some guy's house who's doing it himself, and then they do all the work and all the cleaning and everything else, and I just watch.
Is he going to have you back
and then drink the beer? Yeah. Actually, this batch that he was brewing is a stout, an English stout, and it's for his upcoming the upcoming wedding of one of his daughters in November. So I'm hoping to get. He said he promised me at least one bottle. I think he's going to bottle them. And anyway, this is an aviation podcast. It's not a beer brewing podcast. But
okay, you did something else too.
So my new friend yesterday said he had some tickets to. So he's an alumnus of the University of Georgia in Athens, Georgia, and he had some tickets for a women's soccer game, the University of Georgia Bulldog women's soccer team, and I think it's their season opener. I could be wrong about that, but it's a big deal. They were trying to promote the women's soccer program at the University of Georgia, and so they played it inside of their big giant Sanford Stadium, where all the Georgia Bulldog football team plays. And so it's a huge. I think the capacity of the stadium is like 92,500 or something like that, and so it's a huge place. And
was it full?
It was, actually set a record for women's football. We call it soccer over here. 25,433, I think it was the official number, which is, I think that their normal turnout for a game is like just a small fraction of that. And they had the entire cheerleading crew, like from one end of the soccer pitch to the other. What do you call that? A soccer pitch?
Pitch.
I don't know.
Yeah, pitch.
And they had the band, the full University of Georgia
Did they have the actual
marching
Bulldog?
band. They actually had the motto,
whatever.
the mascot, Uga, the actual. Oh, you mean the actual dog?
Yeah.
Uga. I'm not sure. I didn't see that, but the mascot in the costume was there. I think his name is Harry, for Hairy Dogs. Anyway, so it was like they made it as much as possible like what you would experience if you went to the actual football game of the University of Georgia Bulldogs.
So
the only difference is that Shreyas is the one wearing the red
And
shirt
is
over there on the right.
gentleman a friend
And then,
too?
yep, another friend, Greg, or Shreyas calls him Mr. G, is with us as well. So,
Cool.
yeah, so we had a great time. So,
Nice.
and at the end of it, at the end of it, they had some fireworks. So let me.
Yeah, we're going to see some animation. Just a minute.
So they made a big deal of this.
Wow. Looks like
After the end of the game, which the Georgia Bulldogs won 6-0.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Anyway, so fireworks at the end of it. And then we ended up walking to a pub and had a beer. And then we finally started heading. It's about a 2-hour drive from Athens, Georgia, to where I am living now in Roswell. So kind of a late night. Didn't get a lot of sleep last night. So had a funeral to sing in this morning. And then I quickly tried to do everything I needed to do to prep for today's show, and here we are. There you go.
I think you did very well there.
Thank you. And I guess this would be a good time for us to talk about the coffee fund. All right, here we go.
Johnny, how much more coffee?
No thanks.
I love coffee. I love tea. I love the APG community.
Come on, Steffen.
Coffee and tea and a Java and me.
A cup. Oh, yeah, the Coffee Fund. It's your way to support the show financially if you'd like to. You don't have to. Not many do. But those of you who do, thank you so much. We really appreciate you. A couple of ways to support us financially via the Coffee Fund. One is called the Coffee Fund Classic Method. Since the last episode, we have Jenny in Rome. Thank you, Jenny. And also Ernest Holiday, also known as MetroDoc, and he is here live in our live audience. So thank you very much, MetroDoc, for your contribution. He said, great show. Keep doing what you're doing, giving us positive accolades and such. We do appreciate that. Yeah, and he always sends us great feedback, and he's always, or almost always, there with us in the live audience. So thank you for that. The other way you can support the show financially and the Coffee Bar Club is to join Patreon, become a patron of the show. And information about how you can get involved with either of these methods is available to you by heading over to our website, airlinepilotguy.com/coffee. Thank you for your consideration. And if you do join us, I think you'll be glad you did. And we will too. Thank you.
Well timed. Well done.
Good.
Captain, incoming message.
So let's just quickly mention the movie again, 3A.
Okay.
We could do that.
First thing we're gonna do is we're going to remind you about this upcoming movie release in about a week. The title of the show or the movie motion picture is Coyote versus Acme. Actually, Liz, if you'll throw up the video thing, and I'm going to play this, and it'll be playing in the background while I talk about it. All right. Catch Up Entertainment. And we're playing this in the background kind of as, what do they call that? B-roll, background roll. And as Liz mentioned, Deanna, one of our community members, sent this to us a couple of weeks ago, talking about the fact that this thing is going to be released on the 28th of August, and it's
27th, I think, Jeff. 27th, I believe.
I thought it was the 28th.
Okay, sorry, I thought it was Thursday, but yeah, doesn't matter.
It could be Thursday. This next week. And it's a cute little takeoff on the old the Roadrunner cartoon and Wile E. Coyote, and the use of Acme products, which of course is kind of familiar to those of you who watch and listen to our show. Acme is the airline for which I flew 35 years. Not really. I just didn't want to use the real name of the company I was flying for, so I just said Acme Airlines, and so
it's our logo.
Yeah, there we go. So
next week, get out there, buy tickets.
Next week, let's all go out and watch this film and see what we think. We'll review it. Okay. All right. Number 4. Okay. This feedback from Jim Fulton following the Airbus A350 flight from Toulouse to Sydney. Hi, all. Thought this feedback was worth sharing. Following a recent AOG rescue mission from Prestwick, Scotland to Melbourne, Australia. And this is courtesy of Ayrshire Daily News.
Ayrshire
Daily News. Okay. Again, thank you, Jim, for that. He said he's currently enjoying a Hawkstone IPA in the Cotswolds. Did I say that right? Probably not.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see. Are we going to read the whole? Probably. Yeah. No.
Well, I mean, just the nubbins is that there was that long Airbus flight for Qantas. This is a hugely long Boeing flight from Prestwick to Melbourne.
Okay,
yeah.
So because we were covering that Airbus flight that was the A350
Project Sunrise
-1000, I think. Project what? Sunrise?
Sunrise for Qantas.
Yeah. Or would it be Project Sunrise, Sunset, Sunrise, Sunset? Because it's such a long flight.
Could be, yeah.
So let's see. The Prestwick aerospace cluster of world-class companies is used to high performance each and every day. However, it seldom leads to world record flights. That appears to be the case on August 4th when a Boeing 777-200F freighter, registration November 792 as Charlie Alpha, operated by National Airlines based in Detroit, Michigan, departed Prestwick nonstop to Melbourne in the state of Victoria, Southeast Australia. National Airlines, using the slogan, "We deliver the world," seems appropriate for today's flight. The flight was an AOG flight. AOG indicates aircraft on ground and is it's a universally recognized acronym used within airlines and aircraft operators to indicate that an aircraft is temporarily grounded. The National Airlines Boeing 777F is taking a replacement part to Melbourne, Australia, understood to be a thrust reverser assembly for a Boeing 787 Dreamliner. Anyway, this charter is almost unique in that the distance that the aircraft will carry the repair part. I should work on reading things. This charter is almost unique in the distance that the aircraft will carry the repair part. Melbourne is at least 9,500 nautical miles from Prestwick. The National 777F will be in the air about 19 hours and 40 minutes on what is the longest ever commercial flight from Scotland and almost certainly the longest for the Boeing 777 freighter or National Airlines. And so this article continues on. If you want to read the rest of it, it's going to be in the show notes for you. So there's there's the Boeing trying to do those super ultra long haul kind of flights. Yeah.
May I throw in a little story? Do you remember?
That's why we have you here, man.
Yeah. Okay. I keep quiet the whole time. Do you remember Markus Völter from Omega Tau podcast?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He wanted some other kind of transport. I have a link for you if you put it in the show note. I don't know if it's interesting. He likes to take pictures quite a lot right now, and
he's a good photographer.
Yeah, he is. He was in Stuttgart Airport. There was an Antonov 124 landing, bringing a shaft from a power plant from Malaysia over to Germany, back to its factory. So that's going to be repaired. I don't know more when it's going to be balanced and every kind of thing. So they flew with an Antonov 124, a 20-ton shaft from a power plant, from a huge power plant, over to Stuttgart, Germany. It took them also 19 hours to do that, but with 3 stops, of course.
Oh, okay.
It's an Antonov. I mean, it doesn't have the performance.
Yeah.
And I think the cost of bringing that over there was over $1 million over that.
Wow.
And but it's $1 million is the loss you have for this power plant if it doesn't work for one day.
Oh.
So it's
very reasonably priced.
Where's a reasonable price? Yeah. So they bring it over, and it's going to be balanced and repaired, and they fly it back again.
Wow, 20 tons, 40,000.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was 20 tons. I'm just guessing here.
I mean, that's I'm sure it was super heavy. That's
I put
amazing.
it in the little chat from 720. Okay. If you like to, just for a personal. I don't know, or he doesn't mind if you posting it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. No.
Okay. Yeah. And if you'll just, you said you put it in our chat. Okay. So I'll have that link. Okay.
I can put it also in the
if you'd
feedback
like to.
section. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. It's now under the. It's put it in. Paste it in. Okay.
Okay.
Good.
All right. Thank you. We're going to end our feedback with something that MetroDoc thought that might be a good news item for us to cover, and it's a YouTube video, and it might spur some discussion from Bass Aviation, Real Aviation Communications, and not liveatc.net, but atc.com. I believe the ATC app. All right.
Ground Southwest 2310. It's cleared on Bravo 7, going to 109.
South 2310, ground gate occupied. Bravo Alpha 5 Alpha, short of Alpha 4.
Bravo Alpha 5 Alpha, short of Alpha 4, Southwest 2310.
Ground Alaska 399, taxi Victor, please.
Alaska 399, runway 27, taxi via Bravo.
27 Bravo, Alaska 399.
What about United 1069?
No.
Ooh.
Just curious for 1069. Do we have a time to Chicago?
Now, at 1069, I got one taxiway. Planes all over the place because planes arrive too early with no gates. When there's a slot to get you down there, because whether you wait there or you're number 14 waiting at the end, it makes no difference.
All right, thank you.
Ow.
Push for Southwest 3896 at 103.
No, there's traffic inbound the alley. I've been doing this 18 years. When it's clear, I'll call you back.
Yeah, he just came in the alley and he's parking right now for Southwest 3896.
Well, in about 2 minutes, ask your ground crew to look towards the east, and you will see the next company coming by.
Sounds like you need to be replaced.
Ow.
Sounds like you not use the attitude over there, too, because I tell you there's traffic coming, and you want to argue with me about it.
Back LaGuardia.
Guys, 3293 behind Alaska, Alpha 7, Alpha Bravo to the gate.
Ground Alaska, Alpha, Bravo, Alpha 7, Alpha 7, Alpha Bravo to the gate, Skywest 3293.
Cars in 2174, follow the Embraer ahead, Alpha 7, Bravo to the gate.
Follow Embraer ahead, Alpha 7, Bravo to the gate, horizon 2174.
So 3493, once the Embraer clears behind you, push onto Alpha.
All right, push on Alpha when the Embraer clears, Southwest 3493.
Frontier 1426, after the second Embraer clears you, push onto Alpha.
After the second Embraer, we'll push on to Alpha, Frontier Flight 1426.
So 3896, push onto Kilo.
Push on to Kilo, Southwest 3896.
Now to 1069, after the second Embraer that turns into the alley off your right, continue via Bravo.
Continue via Bravo after the second Embraer, United 1069.
That is it.
So that was actually at San Diego, but they
That
said
was San
back to
Diego,
LaGuardia.
but it kind of had the LaGuardia kind of vibes.
That's what he said, yeah.
Now, so Captain Steffen, you mentioned earlier in our show today regarding the fact that we're not robots, we're humans. Sometimes we humans get tired and we get frustrated and we get angry, both air traffic controllers and pilots, both ends of the communication spectrum here. And I think that it seems that this air traffic controller was taking umbrage to the fact that the pilots were kind of trying to help him do his job, and he didn't like that because he, in his head, had a plan. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you'll agree that I think that maybe if he had been a little bit more descriptive and pleasant about explaining things to these various flights that were sitting at the gate waiting to push back, or in the alleyway waiting to continue to their gate or taxi out for their flight to Chicago because they have a slot time, etc. I tell you, I think it goes a really long way to just give that piece, that little bit of information that he's not required to give them, but I think it would make his life so much easier, and then people wouldn't be trying to, air quotes, help him say, hey, that traffic that you told us to be waiting for is parking now next door, so I think we can go now, right? And no, the traffic that I'm talking about is the one that's coming in behind that guy, so I think it was just a
miscommunication.
Well, not necessarily, maybe not miss, but a lack of communication, possibly. And again, it's not something that they're required to give or do, but I think, man, it would make everything so much easier for everyone if you just kind of explained it a little bit better and maybe more in a more pleasant way. I don't know. What do you think, Captain Steph?
First of all, getting angry against a controller doesn't really help at all. I mean, if you start to shout at him because he is at the end. My English, I'm sorry, I have to get I didn't get that feeling the same as you have, maybe because I wasn't following, and I don't know. Do you ever been to San Diego? Probably you know how it is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know San Diego.
It's very, very not a lot of rooms, very congested. And,
yeah. Yes, of course. If someone just gives two, you're number two, waiting there for him. Just one more information from the controller wise. Your number 2 for taxing in, that would help a lot. If you just give you a number in sequence and then you be more patient. But as you said, that's what I'm always astounded in America, that the ramp and everything is so full that you don't have any slot system or any sequence number they give you ahead. How does it come that you have these long queues at the runway, number 14 for takeoff or whatever? It doesn't. It's the only place where I know where it happens. I'm astonished about this, and that cause a lot of tensions and stress to controller and everybody, and especially if there are only a few controllers available. What I've heard, is it? But
there's a shortage.
Keeping, of course, your being politeness, or just as I said, one more word. Your number 2 for taxiing, one more in, and then everybody would probably be more relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Yeah. I think it would help.
Yeah,
it would help.
I think it would definitely help. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but I tell you what, when I listen to those kind of recordings,
you feel
it makes me like
offline.
tightness in my chest, going and then I go, oh, wait a minute, I don't have to do that anymore. And
Okay, Jeff, can we finish this show now, please?
oh, except I have this person in my in my ear right now yelling at me, telling me what to do. She's getting frustrated.
Just giving you the gear.
I know. She's just kidding around with me. Okay,
All right.
so it is now time for us to wrap up. Yay!
Good.
The first thing
Haven't had any food yet.
Oh, good. Okay, we need to hurry up so you can eat. Airlinepilotguy.com is our website. You should go there. You should check it out. There's lots of great stuff there, including
Pronto.
What?
I said pronto. Go there pronto.
Yes, go there pronto.
Yeah.
So Captain Steffen can eat, and I'll shut up and wrap up the show faster.
Jeff, you should read this.
And I should read this. This is Steffen or me?
You.
I should. Okay. Because Steffen and Jeffen sounds very similar.
I don't call you Jeffen.
I know.
Sochmeets.
Sochmeets, social media, facebook.com/airlinepilotguy. We're on X at APG Crew, Instagram, APG Crew, and on YouTube. We are Airline Pilot Guy. So check it out. We're also on Slack, and we have this guy that's going to tell us about Slack. Yep, I hear the water in the shower. Let's see if I can get him to come over here and tell us about Slack. Hello, can you tell us about Slack?
Okay, but I'm dripping wet.
Okay, come on over. Tell us about it.
APG listeners, please join us on our Slack team. Slack is a communication, coordination, and sharing platform that works on your mobile, laptop, or browser. On Slack, we share news and ideas, we suggest episode and plain tales topics, we plan events and meetups. To get into the Slack team, please email me at slack@airlinepilotguy.com. That's SLACK, Sierra Lima Alpha Charlie Kilo @airlinepilotguy.com. Or send me a tweet with your preferred email address to @Hillel, and I'll send you an invitation. That's Hillel, spelled Hotel India 11 Echo 1, and see you in Slack.
Thanks a lot, Hillel. And we'd also like to thank our producer. She's back with it. We missed you so much. Glad that you're feeling better. And thank you for all the hard work that you do behind the scenes, before, after, and during the show. Much appreciated, Liz. Yes.
My pleasure.
And we'd also like to thank our live audience, our live chatters there in YouTube. And there are many, or if not all of them, are here with us each and every week to
loyal
to help
crew.
us out. Yeah. Sorry.
Thank you, Steffen, for being with us.
Oh, thank you for letting me.
Thank you, Captain Steffen,
hope I
for
could
joining
help.
us today.
You're very much so. Yeah.
Always great to have an authoritative source of expertise with us on the show. And having you too. All right. With that, do you like that little joke?
Yes,
With that,
I got it.
we're going to wish you clear skies, unlimited visibility, and talons, Douglas.
And goodbye, everybody.
See you next time.
Yeah, he's up in the sky. It's the airline pilot guy.
Could they?
I used to be such a good pilot till I started APG. I opened doors for little old ladies. I helped them to their seats. Airline pilot guy, I fly America. Oh, airline pilot guy, he can land in heavy fog. I got no friends 'cause I'm always flying. I just don't have the time. But I can land this old plane. I can land it just fine. Airline pilot guy,